Okay, everybody, I'm gonna knock this one out real quick and get in bed. So, I pretty much, where I left off, I was letting him know that I know, I have reason to believe he's back on the pills. I let him know that I want a drug test, I want a hair test, and I want him, I've seen his bank statements. I'll let him know that I've seen his bank statements, because that's how I caught him the last time. He knows this. So, um, he responds with, "Oh, I see. Back on that again. I will be happy to. Bank statements mean I'm on drugs? You're reaching. If I'd have known that this was your issue, I will happily clear it up this week. I'll let you feel in control for a weekend though. Like I'm just doing this to be a bitch and just to fuck with him." That's the way he's trying to spin this now. So then I said, "Prove me wrong. Go have a hair test. I'm paying for it. It has nothing to do with control. I'm worried for their safety." And then, of course, he says, "I'm righteous. I'm so righteous." And then he says that, brings up the fact that I used to smoke weed. And, of course, he loves to, that's his one thing that he has that he can throw in my face, because they love to point out, "Oh, well, you're not so perfect." Forgetting, the fact that he's hooked on opiates and taking thousands of dollars a month to purchase said opiates. Money that could go to his kids' school tuition, or money he could have used to take his kids on a trip. I took him on a trip this summer. He could have taken him on a trip too, and they could have got 2 vacations. But no, because it's all about what he wants. Because he told me himself. He's never going to stop doing drugs. He's never going to stop buying drugs. He told me that before I left. And he also told me that it's his money. Well, I don't think so. I disagree with that. It's not your money when you have kids to support. So I ended up bringing them to his house to have a visit yesterday, Saturday. And he ended up taking them to shop. He bought my son a new airsoft rifle that he's been wanting. He took them to laser tag to play video games. Oh, and then he's telling the kids to tell me stuff. So I was going to leave them over there till 8 o'clock. But apparently the narc had a poker game at 8:30. So my son calls me it's a little after 5, and he wants me to go pick them up. He says they're ready to go. So I said, okay. And then he says something next, and it's obvious that the narc has told him to tell me this. Because now the narc is trying to make a big joke out of the whole thing. Because remember, that's his shtick. He's the funny man. He makes everybody laugh. He's so funny. And he's also trying to make me feel like I'm stupid and I'm overreacting and I'm crazy. So he tells my son to tell me, and my son says, "Oh, we're over here," and he doesn't sound real enthused while he's saying this. "Oh, we're over here and Dad's sleeping and there's no food in the house." Yeah. So later on, after I got home from picking up the kids, and something else I forgot. When I show up to pick up the kids, it's like he planned it perfectly. I'm coming down his street and he's walking down the sidewalk with our daughter on his shoulders. And then I blocked him on Facebook so I can't see him, but he left my parents on his friends list so they can see what he posts. So they said he posted all kind of pictures of our daughter yesterday. None of our son, but posted all kind of pictures of our daughter and how wonderful she is and how she's the most special girl in his world. You know how the narc does. They use social media to paint the picture like they're this wonderful dad. So later on, after I got home, he sends me another text. Hey, no matter what's happening in my life, I will always try to make you smile. One day you will. And I responded, I do, and I am. He says, I know you mean in general. I mean I will make it happen, Goofy. I am a really funny dude, no matter how much you love or hate me. Meaning he wants to be the one making me smile. I said, yes, that is what I meant. Probably not for the reasons you want, but yes, I do. Because it's so completely ludicrous. I can't help but laugh at him. It's ridiculous how he's acting. Normal people do not act like this. A normal father who got accused by his ex-spouse of being on drugs. First, if he wasn't on drugs, he would be furious with me right now. If he was a normal person and he'd say, okay, yeah, you're going to pay for it. I'm going to go take a drug test and prove you wrong. You know? Now, a normal person who maybe had a drug problem, they probably would be engaging with me as little as possible right now. But not the narc. No, he's trying to charm me into backing off. It's completely ridiculous. So I told him, you know, I'm smiling not for the reasons you want, but yes, I do smile at you, laugh at you. So he says, so you're smiling when you see me laughing or hurting? I always loved making you laugh. Not to be cliche, but it's true. No comment, huh? Because he's sending me these texts and I'm not responding to all of them. So he says, no comment, huh? It's okay. I tell you what, I'll make you smile through our kids. Have a good night and weekend. So I said, thanks, you too. And then he says, hey, can you answer a quick question? Does all this mean we're not getting back together? I mean, I can't even, you know, I just... So today, my daughter said she didn't want to go over to his house again. And my son slept in, because of course he stayed up late. So, then I let him know that because he asked if I was bringing him over. I let him know, and then he texts me, wants to know if our daughter wants to go to lunch with him. He doesn't mention our son, but if our daughter wants to go to lunch with him. So I guess he figures she's the more pliable one. He's going to work on her a little more. So I went ahead and asked both of them if they want to go to lunch, and they both said yeah, they would go. So they wanted to go get Cane's, so I texted him back. I told him yeah, they both want to go. So I was going to bring them to him, but he offered to come pick him up. So I said, as long as you don't go anywhere too far, stay close, because I'm really uncomfortable with him driving them. So he takes them to lunch. They went and visited by a friend's house, and then he brought them home. And then my son wanted to go back to his house because there was some game on his computer. So I figured, okay, I'll give him a little bit more time with the kids. So I bring the kids over there and let them stay for a couple of hours this evening, and then I went back and picked him up. And he comes out to the car and he's like trying to be all nice and asking me, oh, is the van running okay? Because I know you had to put it in the shop not too long ago, and what was wrong with it, and asking me all kind of stuff about the car. Like he never gave a crap about it before when we were married. And after I get home, he texts me and lets me know, oh, I forgot to mention I'm getting sent to Atlanta for work, so I'm going to be gone till Wednesday. So he's going to be out of town till Wednesday. So I just responded, okay. And then he texts me again, and he's like, making a big joke, hopefully I won't be a danger to anyone, and gives me the laughing till I'm crying emoji and the winking emoji with the tongue sticking out. And I responded to him, this is not a joke. I know what you're doing. And then he responds, lighten up. You really need to laugh more. I do it all the time and it makes me feel better. And just like, he thinks like he's trying to play that game. Like when we would have a fight and then like a couple of hours later or like the next day, we would just, instead of trying to settle the issue, we would just pretend like the argument didn't even happen. You know, like delete it. Like that's what he's actually trying to do that. And it's because he's spiraling out of control because he knows he's caught. I have this letter that he wrote me after I left. It was about a week after I left, where he basically confesses everything that he did. My attorney, I gave it right to her after I got it. So his attorney knows about this letter. He knows he's not going to present well in court. He knows I have enough evidence to establish that he has a history of opiate addiction. Like, I'm going to read you a little excerpt from this letter. I've been using pain pills on and off for the better part of the year. They aren't cheap, hence the amounts of money. I've been so successful at work, I thought I would just replace what I spent. Like, that was the main problem. Like, he thinks like that, like, never mind the fact that he could, like, kill himself with these drugs, you know, and leave his kids with no father. He's just focusing on the money. It got out of control about 2 or 3 months ago, which it was a lot longer than that. This letter was written in November. I started spending more and more. I didn't think about how it affected you. Of course he didn't. And, or if you would ever say anything to me. So that's what he was worried about. So he just was worried about whether I was going to say anything about it. He wasn't worried about it because it was the wrong thing to do. He was worried about getting caught. And why is the narc worried about getting caught? Because then he will be exposed. And then the whole phony facade of Mr. Funny Guy, nice guy, family man, great dad is completely getting smashed to pieces. That's what's going on right now. And this ludicrous behavior, like he thinks he's going to flirt with me and charm me, and if he tells a funny joke and makes me laugh, then that's going to make it all go away. I mean, I know I'm not crazy. Normal people do not think like this. So any comments, advice you want to offer, I would appreciate. If you're a young person listening to this, do not have kids with one of these people. If you're involved in a relationship with a person like this, get the hell as far away from them as possible and do not have kids with them, because then this is the kind of bullshit you can expect to have to deal with. I mean, I'm exhausted. I'm mentally exhausted after this week. Hopefully the next week will be better. I don't know. I'll keep you posted. Well, thanks for listening.